Alright, here's his list from memory. It's actually a Lord Kroak list. It's got Teto Echo as well, and a just a regular Skink Priest as backup with a Scroll Caddy. In case you don't know, Lord Kroak is a Slann. He makes a unit of Temple Guard unbreakable. He makes them -1 to hit. Um, he only knows one spell though. It's 2d6 strength 4 hits in a bubble, so it just hits everything around him, and he can increase the range of it. He also has a 3-up ward save and pretty much ignores miscasts on a 2-up. I think he just takes like a strength 6 hit, which he can ward save easily. So this guy is tough. He gives up versatility for a really strong spell, and it's really good versus Wood Elves. Teto Echo is also a Heavens caster. I think he has like Lore Master Heavens, and he has a 5-up ward save and actually allows D3 units to Vanguard. So this guy's tough. He's got 2 Cowboys. He's got 30 Saurus Warriors near about, 4 units of Skink Skirmishers, a Salamander Pack, 30 Temple Guard, an Ancient Stegodon, and 5 Chameleon Skinks. Alright, here's my list. It's very similar to my normal list, but I tried to mix it up a little bit. I actually put my Spellweaver on a unicorn and give him the Talisman of Preservation. I just have a really cool model. I was just going to try to give it a shot. I always wanted to play with a unicorn. I have my regular BSB Great Stag build. I just gave an Army of Destiny. A Spell Singer, I'm going to try level 2 Metal this time. I really like Metal, and I think it'll do well versus Lizards, so I just kind of want to give it a try as an alternative to Beasts. I have a Waystalker with a Ruby Ring of Ruin, just kind of this guy can really create a lot of problems for a lot of armies, especially ones with toughness 2 wizards. I got a couple of units of Glade Guard, mostly poison. I do have 1 unit with True Flight, and then a unit of Glade Riders with True Flight as well. I haven't used Glade Riders in the new book, so I want to see what they can do. 10 Wild Riders, standard shield. 3 Warhawk Riders, love those guys. 7 more Wild Riders with a standard and shields, and they have that Banner of Eternal Flame. That won't matter in this battle. I have 2 units of 7 Way Watchers and 2 Great Eagles.
Okay, this is a picture of his deployment. As you know, he has Teto Echo, so he actually went ahead and was able to Vanguard 2 units. He put the Stegodon forward 12 inches, and he's actually jumped into that forest just barely. He also Vanguarded some Skinks into that building because he didn't quite have enough in his deployment zone to get into the building to start with. Otherwise, as you can see, he's got a Saurus Warrior block on the left and his big Temple Guard unit right there in the center. Cowboys running on his flank. He actually also got a Chameleon Skink unit into my backfield as well. Good scouting. Here's a picture of my deployment after scouting in Vanguard. As you can see, I've Vanguarded the Warhawk Riders, which are squirrels, forward. I turned the Wild Riders around to deal with those Chameleon Skinks just in case I can't shoot them off. Those Chameleon Skinks can really cause me some trouble. This is probably some overkill. I know I can shoot them off or magic missile them or whatever, but I just really wanted to make sure they were dead because I have a Spellweaver on a unicorn, and those guys can really put a hurting on me. I did not Vanguard my Wild Riders to the left by the river. That's because he actually Vanguarded his Stegodon before me, and I have a pretty easy charge on that Stegodon into that woods, so I'm not going to Vanguard. So if I get first turn, I can just ram into that guy and hopefully take him out early game because he's a pretty big threat. Other than that, I scout way watchers to the left and right flanks out of harm's way, hoping for some shots, and I scout my way stalker over there right in front of the red Glade Guard. Okay, it may not look like a lot here, but this is actually the end of my first turn. I used the Ruby Ring of Ruin, which miscast and broke, but to hurt Teto Echo's unit pretty badly. I then dumped. I didn't dump a lot of shooting into the unit. I think I needed 6s to hit, but with poison, I was able to just delete almost pretty much the entire unit. And before I did all that, I actually put a wound on Teto Echo with my Waystalker. I sniped him out. So at the end of the top of turn 1, I had Teto Echo dead and his unit wiped out. So that was fantastic. That was an excellent first turn. I also put 3 wounds on the Stegodon. I was hoping to do a little bit better than that, but I'm okay with it. I think I lost maybe 1 or 2 guys for my trouble. Excellent first turn. Cannot complain. Alright, this is the bottom of turn 1. This is Lizard's first turn. I actually kill off the Stegodon, but a cowboy gets into my flank. And in case you don't know, a cowboy is a Scar vet on a cold one with basically a 1-up armor save and frequently a ward save. This guy has a 4-up ward. But he gets into my flank. He kills a couple, but I do manage to hold. I think I may have even still won combat, so I think I'm still frenzied. Otherwise, he just kind of pushes forward. Other than that, I think I actually shut down his magic pretty well. Alright, this is the top of 2 with Wood Elves. I actually forgot to reform the Wild Riders from last turn, so I get beat up by this that cowboy over there. A lot of things happen here. I dump a ton of shots into that cowboy. Pretty much most of my shots. You know, the Temple Guard are tied up. Those skinks are in a house. Earlier I shot off the chameleon skinks at the back of the field before they even did anything, so that's great. So I really don't have anything to shoot at. So I just put all of my Way Watcher, Way Stalker, and Glade Guard shots into the Scar Vet. I don't do a single wound. I think it's like 40 something shots. And during Magic I actually put a couple. I just try to Spirit Leech him. You know, he's Leadership 8, I'm Leadership 9, so I just kind of hope for an even roll off. And I do get 1 wound through his ward save on that, so that's good. But very frustrated, and this is going to be a problem later on in the game. In combat, my Great Eagle flies into some skinks, weathers the stand and shoot, outright kills a skink priest with attacks, and then breaks the skink unit. So that little eagle just, I mean, is a boss. He actually overruns off the board. That's at the top of the screen, top left of the screen, and actually that's the spot he comes back in on. My Wild Riders go into another unit of skinks, just mow them down. Warhawk Riders are just excellent versus skinks. It's like they were made specifically to kill skinks. They kill all of them, I think, pretty much to the man, and then overrun into Lord Kroak. This may look like a bad decision, but I'm okay with it. Remember that while Lord Kroak's in combat, he can't move forward. So if I can stall him in that backfield, it saves me more time, because I know that once Lord Kroak gets into my area, he's just going to start deleting units with that spell. This is Lizard turn 2. As you can see, the cowboy in the bottom of the screen, and my Wild Riders are still duking it out. Wild Riders are holding up fairly well. You know, they've killed Ancient Stegodon and are holding up this cowboy, so I'm pretty happy with them. You know, aren't we always? He actually charges his cowboy into a unit of at the top of the screen into a unit of Glade Guard. I stand and shoot, but I don't do anything to him, and he actually rolls triple 1s, and so he fails that charge. So he's kind of mad at that. Of course, I in the combat with the Squirrel Riders, the Warhawk Riders, I actually kill like 2 Temple Guard, but he does about 5 wounds back, and I break, which I'm okay with this. I'm at 33% of the unit. I'm hoping he's going to rally and be able to go back and basically function as an eagle now. So Warhawk Rider's really doing a good job. He actually doesn't catch me whenever he pursues. Okay, this is a Wood Elf turn. My Glade Riders showed up, I believe, turn before last, and then they didn't really do anything. They got in Battle for the Past, you have to show up on the short board edge, and they got shot up pretty bad. So my Warhawk Riders rally, Warhawk Rider rally, so then I send him back to function basically as another redirector. So man, Warhawk Riders are just excellent. The Eagle at the top of the screen is going to go redirect and try to stall those that big Saurus block at the top of the screen. And then my other Eagle, who comes back onto the board, goes and positions itself to stop that cowboy. I know he's going to probably polish off these Wild Riders next turn. I actually have a wound on him. I snuck a wound through with my Wild Riders, and so he's probably going to finish off that last Wild Rider, and that Eagle's just going to hopefully stall him from maybe getting into some archers at the bottom right of the screen. here is where things kind of start turning south for me. Remember, I've already put about 40 something shots into this cowboy right here, and didn't get a single wound. Only got a wound off with a magic missile or with a spirit leech. I put another searing doom. I put a searing doom into him. It goes off. I roll a 1 to wound, and then for how many wounds, and then a 1 to wound. So that stinks. So now I'm just getting frustrated. Um, and instead of shooting the temple guard or the Saurus blocks like I probably should, I just dump all of my shooting back into that cowboy, and that's I think about 30 or maybe some more than 30 shots into him, and I don't do a wound. So now I'm at 73 shots and 2 magic missiles into this cowboy, and I cannot kill him. All right, this is Lizard's turn. He, makes short work of that Warhawk Rider, makes short work of that Eagle. He charges my Glade Guard, the 10 Glade Guards standing by that fence. They do a stand and shoot and finally sneak a wound through. So if you recall, I was at 73 shots. That puts me at 83 shots and 2 magic missiles to kill the Scarvet. That is ridiculous, and this is going to cost me my focusing all of my shots onto the Scarvet is going to really cost me later in the game. So pay close attention. I'm able again to shut down his magic. I've been shutting down his magic all game. He's been rolling really terrible on his power dice, and he only has 1 spell because his other 2 wizards are dead. So I've shut that down. The cold one has 1 wound left at the bottom of the screen. That's that cowboy. He finishes off the Wild Riders, and he's looking to cause some trouble. So I've got to stop. I don't know how I'm going to stop that cowboy. All right, this is the Wood Elves. So now I'm kind of getting desperate here. He's getting me into. He's in the area where he could start threatening my units. Because remember, if he gets off that 24-inch Itza spell, it's 2d6 strength 4 hits on every unit within 24 inches, which is pretty much almost all of my units. So it could wipe the board if he gets the spell off. So I kind of start taking some drastic measures. I think I get a Searing Doom off on that Scarvet, and then I throw all of my dice plus the Power Stone into a Purple Sun. It goes off, hits. I roll well on the artillery dice. It goes to the unit. I hit like 11 guys, including Lord Kroak, who makes his look out, sir, of course. But I'm happy. I get 11 hits. I'm pretty happy with this. So he makes 11 initiative saves, and he passes like. Remember, he has initiative 1 or 2 now. He passes like 8 of them. So I get like 3 kills with that Purple Sun, and the Purple Sun never scatters back into him. So this is huge. I do start taking some shots at the Saurus Warriors and thin them down a little bit, but I am not thinning these units down anywhere near enough to keep my units alive. I am in big trouble right now. Down at the bottom of the screen, there's a Salamander unit that's approaching me. It doesn't really do anything all game. I'm actually able to kill it before it gets too close to me, so I just don't really bother taking any pictures of it. Alright, this is the Lizard's turn. As you can see, they move aggressively up. He actually chunks a mega powered up. All of his dice are mega powered up. Deliver of each spell. I use my Dispel Scroll and shut it down. That's good. I have the Cowboy dead at the bottom of the screen. I have the Salamander dead. He really only has these 2 blocks and his Skinks left. So he's moving. He doesn't really get anything done this turn. It's a pretty quick turn. He moved the Skinks out of that building, but he is in the danger zone. So let's see what Wood Elves can do. All right, I get aggressive here. My BSB was over at the bottom of the screen, kind of wheeling around, trying to maybe deal with that cold one, that cowboy, if I couldn't have sniped it off with a Searing Doom. So I throw him into the flank. I do some more shooting to the Saurus Warriors. I don't think I actually get a whole lot of wounds on them. He shuts down my magic fairly well. And I also move my Spellweaver over there into that forest. You can't see her. I'm sorry, that's a bad picture. To try to line up a Purple Sun down his flank. So I don't think I get Purple Sun off this turn, but that's okay. I'm still lined up for a good casting next turn. could even get lucky and hit both his Temple Guard and his Saurus Warriors. So I feel like I'm in a pretty good position here. I take 1 wound on my BSB, and of course his Temple Guard are unbreakable, so they don't care. And this is when things go bad. As you can see, I did do some casualties to the Saurus Warriors. However, he finally gets off his the super powered Deliver of Eats a spell. It wipes out the BSB. It kills like 8 of the 13 Glade Guard. I believe it even polishes off the last 2 Glade Riders. It kills the Waystalker. He charges his few remaining Saurus Warriors into some Glade Guard. They flee. They redirect into a Spell Singer. She flees. I'm like, okay, I don't really need her right now anyway. I just need my Purple Sun. Well, the spell also hits my Spellweaver. Now remember, my Spellweaver has a Talisman of Preservation and is on a Unicorn with Magic Resistance 2. So I had a 2-up word save versus Deliver of Itza. And so he rolls to hit the Spellweaver. He rolls Snake Eye, so I'm ecstatic. I'm like, okay, I'm fine. There's no way he's going to hurt me. Well, both of his Snake Eyes wounds, he needs Forge the Wound versus the Unicorn. So I'm like, okay, I'm still fine. Well, I fail both of my 2-up ward saves, and I take 2 wounds on my Spellweaver. Now, he has also moved his Skinks out of that building towards my Spellweaver and unloads all of the shots. I'm in a forest, but he gets enough through and kills my level 4 Spellweaver. So I just went from having absolute control of this board to literally having maybe 2 or 3 units that aren't fleeing or dead. So this game has almost ended for me now. Off screen, I have a big unit of Wild Riders, 10 Wild Riders, that I'm kind of holding in reserve, hoping to send into those Temple Guard when I have them depleted enough. He kills 5 of them, so I have 5 Wild Riders left. This is just bad. I don't even understand what's happening. But he's waited for that big spell to go off, and he's finally got it. Okay, this is a weird picture. I don't really know why I took. I think it may actually be more of his turn. I can't really quite remember. As you can see, my Glade Guard don't rally; they flee off the board, I believe. Most of my Glade Guard, I have like 1 guy left over there from the previous turn. He hasn't killed some more Way Watchers. So this is just kind of, I think, the final result of all of the carnage of his turn. Alright, this is the final shot of the game. I actually do get those Wild Riders into those Temple Guard. And so, the game isn't quite over yet. I still have 5 Wild Riders. I have about 8 Way Watchers left. And I still have some Glade Guard off screen with Truthlight arrows. So I'm like, you know what? He's in a forest, and I send these Wild Riders into him. I'm like, okay, maybe I have a shot. So I actually kill 12 Temple Guard, and this is the top of turn 6, mind you. He has 2 Temple Guard left, and I'm like, okay, well, if I can survive another turn on his turn, I can actually end up wiping them out. And I'm like, hey, I have about a pretty good bit of shots left, and he doesn't have but like 5 Saurus Warriors left. So I have a chance of pretty much wiping everybody off the board except for Lord Kroak. Well, come to find out, during his turn, I kill all but 2 Temple Guard, and I fail to kill all of the Saurus Warriors. So there's nothing he's going to get all the points for the Saurus Warriors. Well, he also gets off another Itza spell that wipes out the Wild Rider units. See, there's a kind of a debate whether the Lord Kroak's spell can hit a unit that's in combat. So we kind of allowed it because it was kind of undecided, and I was under the impression that he could do it. So he kills the Wild Riders before they get a chance to finish off those Temple Guard. And he kills off some more Glade Guard at the bottom of the screen. So he just scores a bunch of points at the bottom of turn 6. At this point, I have 8 Way Watchers alive and 1 Glade Guard. he has 2 Saurus Warriors, 2 Temple Guard, and Lord Kroak left. So I have like 9 models left. He has 5, but he has 5 that really count. So it was a it was a bloody game, and it was quite fun. All right, final score 2105 to 1285. Lizards win. Um, However, after the game, after talking, he had told me that his Slan makes his entire unit reroll dangerous terrain tests, and he was really adamant about it. So I didn't question him on it. Well, come to find out, only the Slan himself gets to reroll dangerous terrain. And when he got into that venom thicket, he failed like 7 or 8 dangerous terrains, but rerolled them and passed them. So that Temple Guard unit should have been deleted. But in all fairness, I think my Wide Riders would have still been killed by the spell. So I may have got about 400 or 500 more points, but it was still at least a 300 point loss. So it was a legit Lizard win. Final thoughts. I need to prioritize my shooting better. I put 83 shots and 2 or 3 magic missiles into that cowboy. That probably really wouldn't have did that much damage. You might have got a unit of Glade Guard or 2, but I should have put my shooting into the big units, and I would have had them killed by turn 5. So that's a newbie mistake, and I'll have to learn better next time. I also I felt like Searing Doom is a good answer for tough mobile characters, but it didn't kill them as fast as I would like, and that might have been bad rolling. But and maybe I need to give Metal another shot, Allure of Metal another shot. But I was really kind of disappointed in my ability to kill tough mobile characters. And finally, Lord Kroak, he's just great versus Wood Elves. Um, his spell can just hit everybody. My units are small and they're T3 with very little to no armor, and so he just starts destroying units when that spell starts going off, and he's nearly unkillable. My only hope is to really just kill his entire unit, and then maybe just try to whittle him down through that 3-up ward save. So anyway, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.